Hey everyone, welcome to one of my favourite series to do. So we've got another episode of Scryfall Shenanigans. This episode I'm going to be looking at the enchantments of Antiquities. Not the artifacts, which would be the obvious one, but the enchantments of Antiquities. And I'm going to be looking both at aura enchantments and regular enchantments, for want of a better word. But what I thought I'd do before I dive into that is just to talk a little bit about the set, because it's pretty unusual. It's early on in Magic's history. The set size was 85 cards. However, there was this thing they did in the set of having different pieces of artwork, and that led to, an unusual distribution, because we've got Mishra's Factory, Strip Mine, Urza's Mine, Urza's Power Plant, Urza's Tower, which have four different pieces of art. Mishra's Factory and Strip Mine have three versions at U1 and one at C1, and so they've got actual versions at different likelihoods of appearance. Like common, back then, you had this thing like common 1, common 2, common 4, that sort of thing, uncommon. Every card in Antiquities either is an artifact or mentions artifacts in their rules text, except the lands, which produce colourless mana and imply use to cast artifacts. So I thought it'd be interesting to look at some of the cards in the set that aren't artifacts. And I decided to go with enchantments because they just look really interesting to me. Just to show you, and I include a link to this, so half the set, wherever half the set is artifacts. And also in terms of I was talking about the alternate art. So if you get down the bottom here, you can see, look at all the different versions of Mishra's Factory, Mishra's Workshop. Not Mishra's Workshop. Mishra's Factory, Strip Mine, Urza's Mine, Urza's Power Plant, Urza's Tower, and then we've got a couple of card variations as well. Yeah. And I'm not sure, I don't think any other cards have more than one piece of artwork, but that was a sort of period in Magic's history they went through. If you're familiar with that era around here, and then Homelands, I think, and sometime around then, you'll see the same card with different artwork. Some of it's better than others, in my humble opinion. So how many enchantments are we actually talking about in total? Well, including both regular enchantments and auras, there's only 10. That's all we've got to work with here. So 3 in white, 2 in blue, 3 in black, no in green, no red ones. In terms of prices, first of all, let's just see what the most expensive enchantment in Antiquities is. And it is this power artifact. Enchanted artifacts activated abilities cost 2 less to activate. This effect can't reduce the mana in that cost to less than 1 mana. It's a pretty cool card. Never been reprinted in paper. Gate to Phyrexia, $54. Power Leech, 21. Haunting Wind, 17. Dampening Field, 11. And then we get to Energy Flux, and we're down to 7. Now notice with Energy Flux, is that the first one we see where there are in-paper reprints on when we look at the price? Yeah. So Energy Flux. I'm trying to think if I have a Yeah, probably got one of these later editions of this. Maybe I might have a... Yeah, I'm not sure whether I've got one with a card on it from Macadian Masks. Titanian Song, another one that's been reprinted, as has Circle of Protection Artifacts. Artifact Ward, never reprinted. Artifact Possession, never reprinted. The other thing apparently with the set, there weren't any cycles in it. The only thing there was a mega cycle of ATOGs, because ATOG was actually in the Antiquities. And you can see we've got Auratog, Tempest, Chronotog, Visions, Necrotog, Weatherlight, one in the Antiquities, which is the red one, and then Foratog in Mirage. And we mentioned, we saw Misha's Workshop as we went through. That's obviously a newer version of it. Misha's Workshop, right, so back in. So, at common, we have 2 enchantments, both of which are auras, and they are the only, so there aren't any like regular enchantments, whatever term you might want to use for them, at common. So we got Artifact Ward and Artifact Possession. Artifact Ward, target creature cannot be blocked by artifact creatures. Remember what I said when we were looking at the MTG wiki notes, is that if it's not an artifact, it references an artifact. So target creatures cannot be blocked by artifact creatures, and any damage taken from an artifact source is reduced to 0. Target creature is unaffected by any artifact effects that target it. And then Artifact Possession, which is 2 and a black. Notice as well we've got the old school mana symbol here for white. Artifact Possession does 2 damage to target artifact's controller each time target artifact is tapped or its activation cost is paid. Has no effective cost on a continuous artifact. How is that worded? It just goes away. Oh, here we go, yeah. So rephrase to that, should I say, rather than just goes away. So yeah, rephrase to this. Whenever enchanted artifact becomes tapped, or a player activates an ability of an enchantment artifact without tap in its activation cost, this aura deals 2 damage to that artifact's controller. Thraxodemon. Sacrifice another creature or artifact to draw a card. Oh yeah. Parasitic. So yeah, these are all, you can sort of see here, these are all raras that sit on top of something and, you know, are parasitic in nature. Pseudo Shroud, okay. 20 cards have Pseudo Shroud. That would have what been originally in Legends. Okay. Spectral shield. We've got some new artwork from the artist. Oh, I did BFM. It's Candelabra of Taurus. Chandler. Bizarre expression. Oh yeah, the demonic shooter artwork, of course. Fasting. That came up in a deck, didn't it, I think? That I've looked at. Oh, there's Frozen Shade as well. And Gloom. Oh, and of course the original Icy Manipulator artwork and original Hypnotic Spectre artwork. What land did they do then? Yeah, who knows what rabbit holes I'm going to go down in this episode. There you go. Mountains from Alpha. Oh, these ones from Ice Age, yes. Oh, I like these. I must have some of these actually. I opened a few packs of Ice Age, and we've looked at the stuff in Portal as well before. Yeah, I like this one from was it Mirage? So yeah, the Mirage lands. And then these ones from Tempest. Oh, there's actually the artwork from the Cold Snap theme decks. And that was from the those all foil premium decks, the Slivers one. And then we've got Tempest Remastered. And something from Modern Horizons 3. Oh, and of course this from Az's Destiny. Yavimaya Hollow. Now, if we go up to the next rarity, so now uncommon, there's only one aura in the set at that rarity level, which is Power Artifact. The activation cost of target artifact is reduced by 2. If this would reduce target artifact's activation cost below 1. Target artifact's activation cost becomes 1. Power artifact has no effect on artifacts that have no activation cost or whose activation cost is 0. Artifact activation cost 2. Less to activate. This effect can't reduce the mana in that cost to less than 1 mana. So much more succinct. I think this was the most expensive of the enchantments in the set, wasn't it? We went through. Yep. Cost reducer activated ability, of which there are 35 in Magic. And then the rest of the cards that we haven't looked at yet are all at uncommon. On this slicing and dicing, yeah, so we've got an uncommon. I've split them down into, so we've got 8 cards in total, and of that 7 are non-aura enchantments, and the 8th one was the power enchantment. So circle of protection artifacts, dampening field, energy flux, gate to Phyrexia. Look at that one. Haunting wind, power leech, and Titania's song. I really like this artwork. Okay, let's just look at some of these. Prevents all damage against you from any one artifact source. If a source does damage to you more than once in a turn, you must pay 2 each time you want to prevent the damage. Simplified a little bit, do that. 1 and a white. There are 188 hate on artifact cards in Magic's history. Starting off in Alpha, we have Twiddle. Twiddle, because this can tap any one of land, cartridge or artifact. Warp artifact, icy manipulator, and so those are all in, printed in original Alpha. And then we have artifact ward for an Antiquities, which you've seen already, and here's our circuit protection. We've also got dampening field in terms of enchantments, and then we've got some other stuff in the set as well. Okay, you can see there's quite a number here. As if you remember, it said, in the set there's quite a few instances where where the card isn't specifically an artifact, it will be about an artifact. It cares about artifacts. Dampening field. Yep. Players may not untap more than 1 artifact during each of their untap phases, so it's a stasis effect for artifacts. And that's Imi Statue. Players can't attack more than 1 artifact during their tap steps, and that's an artifact. 3 to cast. This is 2 and a white, because this can go in any deck. Energy flux. All artifacts have at the beginning of your upkeep sacrifice this artifact unless you pay 2. We will go and have a look at some Cobra and other stuff in a moment, but I just want to go through the taggers first. So yeah, prison card, of which there are 27 in Magic. So we've got energy flux. We also have something called aura flux. Heuristic effects that opponents can buy off if they pay more mana. That is heuristic, apparently, in terms of tagging. Gate to Phyrexia, sorry if I said that wrong the first time. Sacrifice a creature, destroy target artifact, activate only during your upkeep and only once each turn. So a very selective sack outlet for creatures. Remover artifact destroy, 397 in Magic, including things like abolish and acidic slime, and I'm sure if we went through all of these we would sort of recognise the usual suspects that are capable of dealing with artifacts. Haunting Wind. Whenever an artifact becomes tapped or a player activates an artifact's ability without tap in its activation cost, this enchantment deals 1 damage to that artifact's controller. So yeah, that's how they reworded is not triggered by continuous artifacts. But did they? Is that actually changing the? Just trying to read that. It's tapped on its activation cost displayed when it does not want damage. It's not triggered by continuous artifacts. Okay. Yeah, got it. Now I've read it a second time. Okay. Oh, yeah. The parasitic. Power leech. For some reason I feel strangely drawn to this. Whenever an artifact an opponent controls becomes tapped, or an opponent activates an artifact's ability without tapping its activation cost, you gain 1 life. Yeah, there's quite a number of these with that is not triggered by continuous artifacts clause on it. In a multiplayer game, it affects all opponents. And then Titania's Song. Each non-creature artifact loses all abilities and becomes an artifact creature with power and toughness, each equal to its mana value. If this enchantment leaves the battlefield, this effect continues until end of turn. So how is it on the original card? All non-creature artifacts in play lose all their usual abilities and become artifact creatures with toughness and power equal to their casting costs. Titania's Song leaves play. Artifacts return to normal just before the untap phase of the next turn. Definitely be having a look at that card in Cube Cobra. Oh, 3 cards. This particular artist, and all in this set. Power Leech, 132 cards, including the World Championship. Oh, All Hallows Eve. Okay, and Archangel. Right. Oh, Black Lotus, of course. And Brainstorm, yeah. And we'll have a look at that another week as well. Oh, yes, it's a pretty famous cards here. This artist is, yeah, I was feigning ignorance a little bit there. Fingers. There's aspect of the wolf. Tiger's power and toughness are increased by half the number of forests you have in play, rounding down for power and for toughness. Oh, they did Black Knight. Bizarre Baghdad. Oh, wow. There's some classics here. Grizzly Bears. Iceberg. Oh, Iceflay, yeah. Huh. Raised Dead. There's something about I just love these these sort of cards. I mean, 5 to cast, 0 fall, wall. Yeah, 1 gives you +1/+0, or you can do, well, actually, because you can stack these. Yeah, +1, +0, +1, 3 snow fortress deals 1 damage to target creature without flying that is attacking you. Very specific. Was that ever reprinted? No. Yeah. It's the aesthetic. I mean, you know, 5 to cast for a 0/4 wall with, well, it does have fire breathing on, I suppose. So there is that. If you can manage to get it to not be a wall, just find some way to attack with it. Oops. I was going to go in Cube Cobra in a moment. Yeah. Armoring, that's the other term I was trying to think of. Armoring. Oh, Zombie Master, yes, of course. And this one I was going to have a look at. It's got a few here, isn't there? 47. Chain Lightning. Yeah, the protections. Dark Ritual, Death Lace, Drudge Skeletons. Nice lightning. Oh, yeah, Original Giant Spider. And Lay Druid as well. One of those. Oh, look at the River Delta artwork. Cool Sinkhole as well. And the Hive. Wow. Oh, of course, Arnold. Now that, I think I might have one of these somewhere. But yeah, it was reprinted for this as well. And this one I think I do have. But, yeah, for some reason, I have to dig it out. There's so many cards I could feature in the 15 cards episode. It's great. You know, this artist did Basal Thrall, so 68 cards. Eureka. Oh, yep. Hydro Blast, of course. Oh, yeah. Kiss me. And Millstone. And the factories. Original Primal Clay. Art. It's pretty cool. Oh, this Sorceress Queen. I think I've a 4th edition one of these. Yeah, tap target creature other than Sorceress Queen becomes 0/2 until end of turn. I think that's a pretty cool card. Particularly if you have the original Arabian Night one. Oh, it really pops nicely, doesn't it, on that? So yeah, I have a 5th edition or 4th edition one. 5th edition, the artwork looks a little bit stronger, doesn't it? The colours on there and that. And was in the introductory 2-player set. I wonder what else was in that set. That's something I've not really looked at that much. Can I get into there? Yeah. Not Many cards. 67 cards. Spirit Link. And a version of Stone Rain. Yeah, there's quite a few different versions of Stone Rain, which is cool. If you're a bit of a Stone Rain aficionado, it's had the artwork changed quite a lot over a number of years. It's an original limited edition alpha, $43. Okay. Yeah. That would be a nice little collection, wouldn't it? Stone Rains from each of the paper sets. Any other really expensive ones? All pretty reasonable. There's a Three Kingdoms one, $4.48. Friday Night Magic one. These are the gold borders ones. Oh, I like that. Of course, the 7th edition foil version, 8th edition foil version, Friday Night Magic, we saw that already. 8th edition foil, 9th edition foil. That's the version from the list. They've got the Portal version. There's the Strixhaven ones. And the 30th anniversary. Less said about that, the better, I suppose. Oh dear. Good old Stone Rain. So, when you slice it around, and of course remember with this, the current sort of rarities have been, I don't know what you call it, like reversed engineered, I don't know if that's the right word, but obviously back when the set was printed, the way it sort of designated the rarities was slightly different here. So you get these sort of different levels, but you can see there were, you know, actually 20 rares in the set, and if we do go into Antiquities itself, just look at the breakdown as it is now reflected in Scryfall, just so you can see. So this is the set as a whole. So if we do common rarities, there's 28. $40 uncommons, and then 22 rares, and as we saw, none of these were enchantments. But there was that weird thing going on with different versions of the same card, but in different artwork, so different artwork versions of the same card, being actually different rarities. So yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so this is the EDHRec ranking. Power Artifact comes out on top. But only in just over 8,000 decks. So it doesn't look like many of these are super popular in EDH. Now, the ones that I want to have a look at, where was that one? Was it Power Leech? One of these I was particularly interested in looking at through the lens of Cube Cobra, and having trouble remembering now. Who was this? Oh look, didn't notice there's a little fox, look. What does this synergize with? Oh wow, there's some old cards here. I don't, I have no recollection of at all, or I've never been exposed to, shall I say. Oh, of course, this, I recognise that. Oh, wow, yeah, some other stuff I do recognise. There's the Ivory Tower, however, that's from a later set, that artwork. Artifact. Oh yeah, quite a number of artifacts there. Quite a bit of power. Oh yeah, Ensnaring Bridge, but the newer version of it. Spell Sky again. Blight Colossus. Phyrexian Devourer. Pirate Ship. Painter's Servant. From, what would that be? Is that? Oh, I gotta get that right. That's not Lorwyn, is it? It's the other one in the block. Shadowmoor, that's it. Shadowmoor. Grim Monolith. Now, isn't that pretty expensive? I seem to remember. And there's no real sort of cheap version of it, is there? Well, apart from the World Championship decks. Ooh, that's pretty creepy. Liliana the Necromancer. That's nice. Cool. Okay. Yeah, there's just so many angles I could go through here. Make of the Dead. It's Frozen Shade. Swamps are one black creatures that are still lands. There's Helm of Possession again. And we are really going off a bit of side quest here. Shieldred deck. Should I say Shieldred the Apocalypse? There's some very interesting mono black commanders, you know. You've got Braids, Arisen Nightmare. There we go. Shieldred the Whispering One. Whisper, whisper, whisper. Reanimating Shieldred deck. Oh yeah. All the good stuff. Not quite sure how we ended up here, but never mind. All roads lead to reanimation. Oh, no hand, no land, of course. Grave Titan. Wow. Mono black reanimation toolkit. Now there's the thing. So if I go... Here's a thought. Mono black. Can we do... Yeah, we can. Reanimated X. Who do we get? Who do I feel drawn to here? Mills a card. Where do we go with this? It's mostly mill. At some point in the future I do need to do another sort of Commander Toolkit type episode. Maybe I could pick a commander that's sort of lots of interesting strategies and then build various toolkits around it. I suppose I'll have to decide how much money I want to invest in that. I think I have this somewhere. Actually, I'll probably have quite a few of these anyway. Looking at that list. And probably sacrifice stuff as well, yeah. Cool. Okay. There we go, another unusual side quest to go off. So hopefully you enjoyed that as much as I did putting it together. Thanks once again for watching. Bye for now, and I will catch you in a future video.